What is up, guys? Chan Nugget here with another quick Destiny video. Today we are going to be getting the Bad Juju exotic pulse rifle. Pretty quick and easy quest. So let's just jump right into it. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is unlock the tribute hall. I have put up another video going through that, which I will link in the description. It's pretty simple. Takes about 30 minutes to do. So once you have that unlocked, you're going to go into the tribute hall and start placing tributes. Now tributes are just little statues you get, little collectibles you get from doing triumphs. Most of these triumphs are related to the Season of Opulence, wearing Menagerie gear, wearing Leviathan gear, and then doing activities around the system. You can also purchase these tributes from Callus. I will say purchasing them from Callus is extremely expensive. It takes a ton of glimmer, ton of planetary materials. So if you are a little patient or a little low on these materials, I may wait a little bit and do some of the bounties so you can get the discount. But we're not patient, so we went ahead and just blew all our materials. The cheapest and easiest to purchase are going to be the ones for the ghost shell, and then they spawn a couple after that I can't even remember. But basically, you just turn in bright dust and glimmer. You can go ahead and dismantle all the ghosts and all the sparrows and all of the Eververse armor, and get a ton of bright dust. You can get about 20,000 if you've been playing pretty regularly, and that should give you plenty. I already had 13, I think, tributes before I started buying any. So when I went ahead and bought those, that actually gave me enough to get the next exotic quest, which is pest control. Once you unlock that, you're just going to return to the Visage of Callus, return to the giant statue, and speak to him, and he is going to unlock a adventure or a mission called The Other Side. You're going to run back to the middle. There's a big glass case there with a pretty recognizable weapon from Destiny 1 if you played a lot of Destiny 1, and we need to complete that weapon. We need to charge that weapon, basically. So once you start the adventure, a big taken portal is going to spawn in that room. You're just going to jump through that, and that's going to start the mission. It's going to take you to the Ascendant Plane inside of the Leviathan, which is a really, really cool place. If you want to go back in later and explore it, I definitely would. There's a lot of taken Callus statues and stuff around like that. Super awesome little environment that Bungie made here. And the mission itself is not that difficult. There is no penalty for dying. I will say there is a triumph for soloing it flawlessly, not dying. I did not get that on my first try because I was being pretty careless, but I did it later, and it took maybe 20 minutes. If you only want to play this mission once, then I would recommend being a little bit careful, and I actually am going to make another video of my flawless attempt going a little bit more in depth in the mission itself. But for the mission, I would recommend taking in some pretty good ranged weapons. My loadout was Well of Radiance, which I would definitely recommend if you're going to be doing it solo. I used my Allstringer, which got a ton of range on it, Jotun, and Hammerhead. I picked this layout specifically because there are a ton of Shriekers, and that's about the only thing that will really put you in danger. They're pretty out of sight, and they will spawn at the most inconvenient moments, so I use Jotun and Hammerhead to kind of deal with those. And the only difficult spot really is the Ogre Room. You will recognize it by walking through a pretty giant doorway. There's 4 blights around the room. Each of them have a Shrieker above it, and there's a ton of Shadow Beasts that also spawn in this room. Now there is kind of a cheese for this room. If you jump up and to the right immediately when you go in, there's a little ledge there where both Shriekers will open up. So what I did was just jump up and to the right, pop down my Well of Radiance, and take both of those out immediately. Then took the blights out on the right side of the room. And then on the left side, you can actually deal with them one at a time. So I didn't have to worry about using Well or anything like that, but they are a little bit of a pain to get to open up. Once you do that, you can just take out the blights. A big ogre spawns, and you can kill him. I stood in the doorway the first time, and he actually pushed me out and off of the map, and that's how I ended my flawless run the first time. So if you're going to use that doorway, because you can kind of hide and jump out and cheese, be very careful of the ogre gaze, because he will knock you off. Once you kill the ogre, just take care of the wizards. If you've got Hammerhead ammo, it'll shred through them pretty quickly. The next room you're going to jump into is the boss room. This is the only other slightly tricky part, once again, because of Shriekers. Once you take out all of the Fallen and the Cabal, about somewhere between 30 and 50 Thrall will spawn. I just used Hammerhead, cleared them out pretty quickly. And then the boss spawns, as well as 4 Shriekers. Once again, just pop down Well of Radiance near the back of the room with the giant pillars. and took them out with Jotun. Took, in my well, it took 1 Jotun shot per streaker and took them out pretty quickly. After that, the boss is pretty easy. A couple Jotun shots or a couple hammerhead rounds took him out pretty quickly. Once you kill the boss, Toland will say some really neat lines, some really cool lines. Very, very cryptic lines, much like Toland is wont to do. And he gives you a step called a weapon to end all existence. Once you get that quest step, you can just jump out of the portal, go back to the glass case, and that is where Bad Juju will be ready for the essence that you have just collected. It'll be waiting for you to claim, and now you have the weapon. Now the weapon itself is much like its Destiny 1 counterpart. Gives you super back. It is auto firing, and its exotic perk is String of Curses. What String of Curses does is kills refill the magazine, increase damage for a short duration, and grant super energy based on the String of Curses stacks. So like I said, very similar to its Destiny 1 counterpart. So Bad Juju is back. You can get the catalyst for it by, I think it's placing 45 tributes in the hall. But yeah, that's it. Once the catalyst is done, if there's any extra steps to that, which I don't believe there is, besides normal catalyst stuff, I'll make another video of that. But as I said, the tributes are very, very expensive, and I did not do the cheese that I'm sure some of you have seen around. So I'm still working towards that. But yeah, guys, that's it. If you do want some more Destiny content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. And like I said, I will be making another video of my flawless run through the mission. So keep an eye out for that if you don't want to have to do the mission again like I did. And other than that, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.